With that, let's bring in our panel here in Hanoi. Olivia Enos is Asia Policy Analyst with the Heritage Foundation, and Alex Wayne, White House Editor for Bloomberg. Thank you both for being here. I guess the question I really want to get to before all of this kicks off is, what does success look like? Start with you, Olivia.
I think success looks like a return by the Trump administration to a call for what is a legally required definition of denuclearization, that complete, verifiable, irreversible dismantlement of North Korea's nuclear program. And I think we need to see those verifiable, tangible, measurable steps, like North Korea permitting IAEA inspections or saying that it'll submit to a full data declaration. These would be positive steps that demonstrate that North Korea is sincere. But I think beyond denuclearization, what would be really positive is if President Trump went even a step further and raised some of those thorny human rights issues that are actually directly connected to some of the nuclear challenges and may help the U.S. to achieve some of those objectives.
Alex, we know that North Korea doesn't have a great track record with truth, with living up to commitments.
Understatement.
And the trust but verify from Reagan is going to be a tough bar for any denuclearization. But there are baby steps here.
There are. Olivia reminds me that we haven't even heard that acronym this week, CVID, that they used so much in the first summit. I think Trump deserves some credit for just reducing tensions with North Korea. They're no longer testing nukes. They're no longer flinging missiles over Japan. We are not at the brink of war, which is what it seemed like at points during President Trump's first year. But now I think arms control experts would say it's time to show some concrete and verifiable progress on the North Korean side, so that we have some assurance that this is actually leading toward denuclearization and not an acknowledgement of North Korea as a nuclear power.
You know, I mentioned this last night with another panel, but the hunger for North Korea to be an economic powerhouse, the president referenced it in his tweet. He's talked about it a lot. First summit in Singapore, economically booming. Second summit here in Vietnam, doing great. How do we have a sense of what Kim's thought process is on economics?
I would be surprised if Kim is as eager for Western economic development in his country as the president seems to think he is. I think Kim would regard Western development, fast food restaurants and U.S. clothing stores and Hollywood movies in North Korea as a threat to his regime. I mean, when people start seeing those sorts of luxuries, they then begin to wonder, why has the regime been withholding this stuff from us for so long?
Olivia?
Regrettably, I think that all of this talk about economic reform with North Korea is really a foreshadowing of the president potentially moving towards some sort of sanctions relief. We've been hearing in the lead up to the summit that perhaps there's going to be some sort of deal where we're trading the closure, which has been promised many, many times before, of the Yongbyon nuclear facility. Here we are in 2019, Yongbyen's still here. But they're saying that maybe they are going to trade it in exchange for either inter-Korean economic activities, which would be a form of sanctions relief, or some other form of sanctions relief. And I think this would be a huge mistake, because it would represent the Trump administration stepping away from really what has been the only successful pillar of its policy, that maximum pressure strategy.
What's fascinating is this is different than any other summit or negotiation with any other country. I mean, this is not the bottom-up thing. This is really the top dogs figuring it out. And it'll happen in a couple hours. Panel, thank you so much. Olivia, Alex.
Thank you.
When we come back, some